Look at those blooms. I knew you'd love to see it. Hey, friends, this is one of our 3 crepe myrtles. We planted this only, a month or 2 ago? Look at that. Drooping maybe just a little bit because of that massive rain. Oh my gosh. It was amazing last night. But it's popped back up. I think it's got more blooms to go, and gosh, I look forward to seeing what this looks like going forward. Now, this one gets more sun than the other 2, so I think that's why we get the best blooms, but we do have 2 more. Here's another one on the north side of the church. Now, I think this one has the least amount of blooms right now, but I think it gets the least amount of light. But whoa, those roses are looking pretty nice too. And here's the one on the south side, looking nice. Now, the ones here at the church get some irrigation, so long term, I suspect those will be the bigger ones, but they're looking good. Now, not all of our plantings have been unmitigated successes. We planted several Russian sage. This one is looking good. Several of them are looking good. In fact, they all were looking good. And then 3 started not to look so good. Actually, it happened really quickly. Now, it takes a little bit of a trained eye. So take a good look at this one and then see if you can tell the difference. All right? Blooming right there, looking good. Remember, it's only been planted since October. Okay, you got that. So you see that one. And then you can see this one. I don't know if you can tell the difference. We'll go back to that one. And that one. Actually, I just called the extension agent to come out, and he suggested I cut that one back. I think I've got a picture of what it looked like shortly before I cut it back. Yeah, there we go. Looked like that. Now, I initially thought, well, the first one was dead, I thought, and so I transplanted it to the trash bin. But when the extension agent came out, he looked at it and poked and prodded, and he said, well, it's still rooted well. And he cut into the plant a little bit, and he said, well, it's still alive. It looks like it's just been singed. I couldn't believe that, but yeah, evidently, and that's his best guess. It's still alive. There are actually some buds way down there at the base. So he said, cut it back and likely come back. These are such hardy plants. He said it's kind of like delayed transplant shock. Probably like the gospel that we heard just recently. When you have no roots and the sun comes out, woo, you get scorched. Now, here's an interesting fact. Did you know that Russian sage is neither from Russia or sage? Yeah, it's actually part of the mint family. Yeah. It's, something the Russians do, I guess. They're pretty good at disinformation. But never fear, we're on top of things here. Keeping an eye out, just in case they get any strange ideas and try to contaminate these other plants with their ideas. Things are coming along pretty well over here at the rectory. You can see this Nepota has done really well. We had them over there at the parking lot and trimmed them back, and boy, they just flower right back. I hope that Veronica does the same. I guess probably ought to trim it back if I hope it's going to do the same. Now that tree is actually looking better. It still looks a little puny, but it's actually put on some leaves. So I do think it's going to live. It'll be nice. A nice color with the brick behind it. And oh, look at that rose. That rose that I transplant it. It's blooming away. Now, it's got a slight advantage over the other one. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get close. I actually had planned to plant this, a double knockout, over next to the other one because I figured it gets more sun over there. Over here, well, it's under a tree, and so I was going to plant a hydrangea that we had in a bad location, but I just didn't, and now I'm kind of regretting that. And if you remember, I told you I transplanted Spirea from the south side to the north side. It had pink flowers, and there we go. It's blooming. It's blooming where it's at. You know, when you work on a garden, look, you begin to invite little critters, cute little critters. I think I got a picture of him when he was even smaller. He's just hanging around. I don't know, he might be a smoker. You see him right there. I hope he's not. But look at that. Lastly, I forgot to tell you last time I was YouTubing that I transplanted some peonies over here. We had some close to the rectory that I transplanted a little bit earlier. And we had some next to the south entrance of the church that I transplanted a little bit later in the summer. It was hotter. With your trained gardener eye, maybe you can see a difference. Now I understand, or I think, these are Chinese peonies. I don't know, I think that might be 2 strikes out of 3. Russian sage, Chinese peonies. I hope I don't have anything from North Korea around here, or you're gonna start wondering. Hope you're well. Bloom where you're planted. Prune what you need to. And thrive.